Good morning, CW Henry School. This is Ms. Davis coming to you virtually, bringing you a final Women's History Bite of the day. I say final because while Women's History Month continues through the month of March, we will be on spring break next week, as you all know. And when we come back to school, it will be April. So today on March the 26th, we're going to spotlight one final person for Women's History Month. And we're going to close out by talking a little bit about the ways that you can continue the work of Women's History Month throughout the school year. So let's jump in. Drum roll, please. Our focus for today's Women's History Bite is primatologist Jane Goodall. If primatologist is an unfamiliar occupation for you, it is somebody who studies primates, so thinking about monkeys and apes. Jane Goodall was born on April 3rd, 1934. She is still alive and well. She is 86 years old. Let's learn about some of the accomplishments throughout her life. She comes from London, England. So growing up, she loved animals. She always dreamt of going to the continent of Africa in order to see some of her favorite animals in the wild and in their natural habitats. She particularly liked chimpanzees. As a young adult, she worked to save money to accomplish this dream. So as a teenager and in her early 20s, she saved money and was able to purchase airfare to travel to the continent of Africa. She was offered a job and she moved to the Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania, where she began to observe the chimpanzees. Well, when Jane began studying chimps in 1960, she did not have any formal training or education in the field. So think, she had a blank slate. This was something completely new to her as she was realizing her dream. But they actually think that this may have helped her because she had her own unique ways of observing and recording the chimps' actions and behaviors. Jane spent nearly 40 years of her life studying and learning about chimpanzees. She discovered many new and interesting things about the animals. Let's learn about a couple of those things. So she made some important discoveries during her career. Here are 3 different categories. One thing that she discovered is that chimps actually know how to create and use tools. She observed a chimp using a piece of grass as a tool. The chimp would put the grass into a termite hole in order to catch the termites to eat them. This is the first time ever that animals had been observed using and making tools. Before this discovery, it was thought that only humans could do that. She also discovered that chimps hunted for meat. She actually observed them collaborating with other members in their pack in order to catch their prey. Before this, scientists previously thought that chimps only ate plants. And then last but not least, she learned a lot about their personalities. She observed that chimpanzees have very different personalities within their community. Some were kind, some were quiet and generous, while others were more aggressive or acted like bullies. She saw that the chimps could express emotions such as sadness and anger and joy. And over time, Jane's relationship grew closer and closer to the chimpanzees. For a period of nearly 2 years, she became a member of the chimpanzee troop, living with the chimps as a part of their day-to-day life. So throughout her life, she's won many awards for her environmental work. Here are a couple: the J. Paul Getty Wildlife Conservation Prize, the Living Legacy Award, the Disney's Eco Hero Award, and the Benjamin Franklin Medal in Life Science. There have been many books written about her life and her discoveries, as well as a couple documentaries. Here are pictures of 2 on the right-hand side, one called Jane's Journey and another one produced by National Geographic called Among the Wild Chimpanzees. I encourage you to Google Jane Goodall and to learn more and see more photographs of some of her life's work. So that brings us to the end of today's Women's History Bite, but we're not quite done yet. Before we close out for Women's History Month, it's really important that we take a moment to acknowledge the ways that we can celebrate and lift up women's history across the year. It's very important that we make sure that we are championing the causes of women. So whether we're spreading awareness about the gender pay gap, the fact that still in the year 2021, women are not making an equal amount as men are in the workforce, as well as calling out bias in our local communities, places where we see people being treated unfairly or unequally, as well as maintaining a gender equal mindset. We know that women are absolutely able and capable, and every single day do the same things that men do. So we deserve to be thought about in an equal way. It's important that everybody do their part to be intentional about helping us move one step closer to equality for all. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years old, 50 years old, or 85 years old. You have an important part in this cause. So I encourage you, when you're at school, when you're in your neighborhood, when you're at home, continue to be really intentional. Ask questions, make observations. Are the books that I'm reading written by male authors as well as female authors? Are the movies that I watch or the TV shows that I watch produced and directed by male producers and directors or female producers and directors? Pay attention to what you see in the credits. Additionally, what about the music you listen to? Are you supporting and discovering new types of work by male musicians as well as female musicians? This intentionality is very important. Thank you for joining me across the month of March to celebrate Women's History Month together. It's been a wonderful experience. I look forward to seeing you all soon, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, everybody.